I met Will Jordan on online dating. We got engaged, and partway through the relationship, he told me that he worked for the intelligence services. So that explained him going away, disappearing at times, etc. He wasn't a spy, I have to add. He was one of the guys in the van. He was basically an IT guy. It was a job. It just happened to be for rather a strange employer. So, I mean, we had a pretty good life for a while. He told me he was infertile. He couldn't have kids because of a bad bout of mumps as a child. So when I got pregnant 6 months into our relationship, this was a miracle child. His parents rang me to say how pleased they were to have their first grandchild. Life went on. We got married in 2002, and he tried to get out of the service. And in getting out of the service, he started working as an IT consultant with various firms, including a large software company. And whilst he was at that large software company, somebody who he had seen undercover in his previous employment saw his records and where his wife and children lived. And they said, to raise funds for their terrorist activities, that they threatened to kidnap our kids and send them bits of them through the post to us unless we came up with money. And I was terrified. I was already isolated. I was already alone and silent. And I sold everything I owned. I sold my flat. I sold my life insurance policy. I sold everything I could get my hands on to raise money to give to him to keep my children safe. In 2005, I had nothing. I had to move in with my parents. Still, he was asking for money. Still lived in fear. By this time, I had another child. And in 2006, on the 5th of April 2006, I got a phone call from a woman who said, "Are you Mrs. Jordan?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "I'm the other Mrs. Jordan." And she told me that she had 5 children too, and Nanny had 2 children. She knew of various other children. His parents were complicit. He was actively impregnating women to rip them off for money. He was averaging 4 or 5 women at once. And to him, it was just all a game. It was all lies from the very beginning, from the very first contact he ever made to me. It was all lies. My name is Mary Thomson. I am the author of 2 books about psychopathy. One is my memoir about my relationship with a man called William Allen Jordan, who I married in 2002, and he was not only a bigamist and a con man, but actively impregnates women to rip them off for money. My second book, 15 years later, it's called The Psychopath, which details my research into psychopathy, to my recovery and how I managed to emerge from the situation happier and healthier and wiser. So one of the things that I was asked to do today was to just look at some questions and answer them one at a time. So that's what I'm going to do.